Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast, where we take you through the only news that matters. It's good news. So as you see there, I'm experimenting with a little bit of a truncated opening.
Oh, as naturally said to a bishop.
Let's face it, I think most of you have watched the original one quite enough times now. Let's condense this down a little bit, and we need to because, oh my goodness, I take a couple of days away from the channel and just everything. News. Just news out the wazoo. So let's not stand on ceremony. Mr. Wayne, let's talk about him. I'm sorry, I can't help but get some of the old catchphrases in. First of all, Four Horsemen Studios are reissuing their Headless Horseman figure, which is great. And of course, you know about this because it was announced a couple of days ago and the internet is instant. So that's why I can't afford to leave this channel for even a moment, because now it's like Foosh has already done his video. It's old news, but you know what? I'm not going to call this show old news. It's good news, and this is still good news. Because man, normally I don't mind when they reissue stuff because it's like it's fine. I got the original, but glow in the dark, baby. I'm not going to get it. I mean, I love the original one. It's fantastic, but the brighter colors, that was my only sort of little caveat with the original Headless Horseman. Is he is quite dark. You know, from a distance, it's just a black blob on your shelf. You got to get up close and personal to really appreciate it. But this with like the ectoplasmic kind of green on there, the slightly brighter cape as well. And also just the lighter colors on the Horseman body. I really, really like it. So not only is it a re-release, but I think it's a worthy upgrade. Not as realistic and sinister as the original, but as something that's gonna pop off the shelf a bit more. This dude looks terrific. So he's not cheap, as they never are. So this one's going to be $139, which I think is what the original one was too. And he's going to be available from all your approved Four Horsemen type retailers, and he's going to be up for pre-order, or no, actually just order, as of March 1st. I think you can order him now, and then he gets released on March 1st. So no waiting around. Yay. Neca have revealed their Donatello's Portable Portal diorama set. This is kind of fun, and I want more of these things. Diorama displays, because come on, that's what we do with our action figures. Like companies, you know that we are action figure collectors who do not play with our figures, we display them. You can play with them if you want to. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But generally, we open them up, take them out, pose them, take some photos, whatever we want to do, and then we put them in a Dettol or on a shelf and let them collect dust, at least in my case. But to actually give us some fun, not specifically portals, but diorama pieces, I love that. And this just fits in perfectly with the animated Turtles aesthetic. And I really love that it seems to come with different lenticular covers or frames, you know what I'm trying to say. So you can have different portal effects of different creatures and characters coming through. That looks super fun. I'm interested to see if Neca are going to expand on this idea, or maybe for other lines as well, for their Predator or Alien type, characters and displays. More diorama pieces. Anything to zhuzh up the collection, I'll be really interested in seeing. Speaking of zhuzhing up collections, Diamond Select have revealed their Invisible Woman, their Sue Storm, to complete the Fantastic Four now. They've done it. It took several years, but they got there in the end. And now the Thing figure, like he's showing his age a little bit. Might be time for an upgrade on that one. It's the Circle of Toys, baby. I gotta say, this Invisible Woman actually looks really good. I was a little dubious about Hasbro's Mr. Fantastic. Thought he had a bit of a derp kind of face. But Sue, that's bravo. Yeah, this is really, really good looking sculpting and paint. She looks terrific. And then you got the different swap out parts as well for the invisible effects. They're going a little extra with this, and I really, really like it. So even though I don't like my human Select figures, because I don't like the scale and all that kind of thing, I've got to say that this definitely looks like one of their stronger releases, just as far as the overall product is concerned. So yeah, if you're a Select Marvel person that just gets all the human characters as well, then Sue Storm's going to be a fantastic addition. Over in Hasbro land, they have revealed their Wave 2 Dungeons & Dragons figures. And this is a very welcome, not surprise, but just bit of reassurance for fans who collected the first wave, because Can't always trust Hasbro. You don't know if they're going to complete the lines or not. They might release half of a group and then go, these aren't really selling. Shall we release the others? Well, people did invest a lot of money in building that. Yeah, but we're not going to make as much money, so let's not. Where in this case, it looks like we are getting the full, it doesn't look like it, we are getting the full Dungeons & Dragons team. So we're now adding Eric, Presto, and Sheila to the lineup. And I gotta say, like, they look nice. They look kind of fun. The amount of accessories is just about enough to kind of validate what they're charging. I mean, still hella expensive, but at least they look good. I love what they've done with Presto with his magic hat, where you can get the magic effect swirling out of it, and the different hairpiece, so you can pin the hat on there. That works really well. And I like that the first time I saw that kind of mechanics was with the G.I. Joe figures, where you could take the hair off and put the hats on and all that kind of thing. A nice little bit of innovation. I don't know if it's Hasbro innovation. I'm sure other lines have done it, but it works. It works really well, so I approve of that. And then, yeah, I'm not a big Dungeons & Dragons fan, but I appreciate it. I really don't like I don't like the boxes very much, with like the kind of flat retro style cardboard, but then with like a cardboard box where the normal plastic bubble would be. I don't know, just it looks a bit weird. But hey, look, we're still experimenting with packaging to try and figure out what works. What's inside is what counts, and what's inside looks like, pretty decent D&D figures. Sticking with Hasbro, they have also revealed full images of their retro Kraven figure. Now, this is an interesting little one, in as much as a lot of people needed Kraven to complete their Sinister Six or Classic Rogues. So that's fine, that's great, but there's nothing particularly exciting about him for anyone who already has one of the other Kravens. My Spider-Man 2-pack Kraven, what did I not like about him? It was the crazy head. What's this one got? The exact same crazy head. So, I don't know, that's a very specific kind of stylized look for Kraven, and not really what I would go for. Especially with the animated style colors, which are very much a specific look that doesn't really vibe with the head, so it's fine. What always puts these retro packages over the line is the package, because that's just beautiful. It's really, really gorgeous. But even then, they are expensive. This one is skewing a little higher as well, more around that $27.99 kind of price point, and it's like, I just don't feel we're getting the bang for the buck for it, you know? But having said that, if you want a Kraven, it's great to have a new one out, even if you got to pay, quite a bit for it. It'd be nice to see some more accessories and new sculpting, just a little bit of innovation, you know what I'm talking about? But even though we're not getting that, he's still quite a fun-looking figure. Just a fun little Hasbro sort of side story. G.I. Joe, Falcon. That might be all I have to say for a lot of people, because that's been doing the rounds on the Facebook groups recently. The newly revealed Falcon figure in the G.I. Joe line. State of your face, mate. Who approved this gnarly looking thing? He looks like he's been left out in the sun too long. He's got these weird droopy jowls, oddly square jaw. Looks a lot like a Team America puppet. Then we have had quite a few instances where the lips have been very kind of ruby red and it looks kind of weird like lipstick. This is a prime example of that. Basically, you done Falcon dirty, is what we're saying. And that's what a lot of people at G.I. Joe collectors, as soon as they revealed this image, they were like, oh! Whoa, might want to go back to the drawing board with that one, but they didn't, and he's out. And the best that a lot of folks are doing some repaints and trying to zhuzh him up a little bit, but this one was definitely universally considered a bit of a miss. McFarlane are not slowing down either. They are working overtime. They're just pumping out so many McFarlane DC figures, and I'm impressed. We've got Arsenal now from the Teen Titans, and like this little reveal type picture, it looks fine, but I don't really have much investment or even knowledge about the character, so I can't say whether they nailed it or there's an unusual version, but it looks like standard McFarlane look and design, and I'm still just not a big fan. I still find their methods of putting together figures just, I don't know, just kind of clunky. It doesn't really, just doesn't do it for me, you know? But it does do it for a lot of people, because they're putting out a lot of figures and folks are buying them. So, hey, that's fair enough. And they're not just stopping with Arsenal. We're also getting Donna Troy as well, who's a Wonder Woman type person. That's all I can say. I don't know anything else beyond that. But I gotta also admit, with the face sculpt here, ow, just hit my elbow. That hurt a little bit, but I'm not gonna sell it. What am I saying? That kind of threw me. Yeah, the face sculpt looks good. Wow, pain will do that. That does actually really hurt. I'm gonna carry on. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's cut this. I just hit my funny bone. Ow.
5 minutes later.
Super 7 are releasing... Don't worry, I'm fine now. Super 7 are releasing a Steve Caballero action figure in their reaction line. I'm just going to read the blurb here, because I know nothing about this. So this limited edition 3.75-inch articulated Steve Caballero action figure was inspired by his appearance in the June 1985 cover of Thrasher magazine. It features a skeletal body based on his pro model graphics and sports the same outfit and hairstyle as the famous image. Available now at super7.com. So yeah, these are kind of fun, but I don't know anything about skating and whatnot. I'm not a skater boy. If given the chance, I'd say, see you later, boy. That's what a girl said to me once. And I wasn't even a skater boy, but I wasn't good enough for her. I went full William Shatner there. I was a skater boy. She said, see you later, boy. I wasn't good enough for her. Sticking with Super 7, we're getting TMNT Ultimate's Mutagen Ooze Glow figures. That was not an easy sentence to get out there. So it's the same turtles that we're used to, but glow in the dark. What's mashing my potatoes right now? Glow in the dark stuff. I just think it's so much fun. And these look, I mean, granted, of course, this is like the ultimate blacklight version type photographs, showing them in all their most glowy glory, but hey, works on me. They look really, really fun. It's not something that I would buy into myself, but I do like to admire them from afar. And that is all I'll do, because they're $70 each. Also up for pre-order now, but if you're a hardcore TMNT fan, or especially if you don't have any turtles, but you want some quirky ones, this could be a fun way to go, because yeah, Super 7, they just, it's the quirk. Sometimes the quirk is what you need. The quirk is what we're getting here. Quirky quirk. Quirk quirk. Don't know where I was going with that, but they look fun. And as we knew would happen, also McFarlane have shown full reveal images for their Bane Build-A-Figure wave. And yeah, these are going to be a big seller. I mean, that's not like Nostradamus pitching that there, but I've mentioned these to friends of mine who are not like big action figure collectors, but they've seen those and go like, those are really cool. Like the Dark Knight trilogy, it is a big thing, and this is just a great encapsulating set. And the fact that we're getting a wave that is all one theme, with the same theme Build-A-Figure, beautiful. That's all we want as collectors. Just play fair with us. And Todd, that's playing fair. It's a full Dark Knight wave with a Dark Knight Build-A-Figure. Gotta love it. They all look fantastic. I love seeing some of these costumes in more close-up detail, especially Scarecrow, who in the movies you only really saw like glimpses of. That's really great. And they've done the paint work that often a lot of other comic book figures I feel are kind of missing. Now they have the dark, grimy washes and they just look more real. This is a banger looking set. This might be wave of the year already, early contender. Let's see if anything else comes out that might usurp it. And finally, for action figures, SH Figuarts have shown reveal images of their Ant Man and the Wasp Quantumania Ant Man figure. And I mean, it looks like what you would expect. SH Figuarts are always that little more high-end, little more la-di-da, highfalutin, how's your father type action figures, and this looks very much the case as well. I can't really differentiate this Ant Man costume from any other Ant Man costume, but it looks the business. So if you've got like a full Figuarts Avengers set, he's going to be a worthy addition. Is he a good replacement for an existing Ant Man? I don't know. But if you don't have one at all, then that could be a good one to go for. The tech in the helmet and stuff, I think that looks really nice. Going over to film and television now, and this is something that I never expected to see. We're getting another Hellboy movie. Hellboy the Crooked Man has been confirmed with Mike Mignola writing, and that's kind of, I mean, I'm going to reserve judgment because it's being directed by Brian Taylor, who did Crank, Gamer, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. None of those are what you would call auteur type movies. Those are more slam bang, straight to DVD type movies. I mean, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance is that's a tough watch. But one thing that I can say is those movies also have kind of a grimy sort of humor, gallows kind of feel to them, which I actually kind of dig as well. And the general scuttlebutt for this movie is that it's going to be the most not realistic, but most authentic version of Hellboy. That's what they're going for. So very much that kind of gothic, dark, comic book kind of feel, like the original iteration of the character was. So that might actually, it might work. It might just come together and lend itself well. Let me read you a little synopsis from Deadline. The new film will see Hellboy and a rookie BPRD agent stranded in 1950s rural Appalachia. There they discover a small community haunted by witches, led by a local devil with a troubling connection to Hellboy's past, the Crooked Man. So right now the jury is definitely out, but it could be interesting. I mean, the last movie was kind of dead on arrival. I haven't watched it, but just heard so many bad things. I'm like, I don't need that in my life. And people enjoyed the Del Toro series, and we wanted a third piece to conclude it, but it seems like that's not going to happen. So will this one be one that resurrects the franchise? I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Another new installment to a franchise that I didn't even know was happening was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And apparently this has just wrapped filming. Didn't even know that was a thing, but that first trilogy is a surprisingly really solid trilogy. 3 excellently told movies that are not like groundbreaking incredible, but just well-told stories. I really dug that. So we're getting the 4th one, and I'm guessing if it's wrapped filming, we're probably looking at maybe later this year. We might be seeing it hitting theaters. I don't know what the turnaround time's going to be, but I'm excited for more Planet of the Apes. And another sequel that I didn't know was a thing. Apparently, we are now going to be getting a new I Am Legend movie. You guys remember I Am Legend? The one thing that really stuck out about that was that it was a Warner Brothers movie, and they were kind of teasing Batman versus Superman. They had Will Smith walking past a dilapidated old theater with a Batman versus Superman poster on the outside, as if Warner Brothers were going, it's coming soon, it's coming soon. It wasn't coming soon. And, in their reality, maybe it was a good film. I don't know. But we're getting a new one, and this is interesting. It's got Michael B. Jordan, who, he always delivers. He's good quality. So it's going to be him teaming up with Will Smith. I'm all over my words today. I'm just garbling a little bit. With Will Smith. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Dave, Will Smith died in the first movie. Those of you who watched it and remember it. And apparently they are going to go with an alternate ending, because there was an alternate ending to the movie where he didn't die, and they decided no, it's more tragic to kill off Will Smith. But of course, DVD releases and on the internet you can see the alternate ending where he survives and the zombie creatures are like, hey, just stop messing with us and we're all gonna be cool, okay? That was the only thing that really turned me off from that movie. It's such a shame. Like, it's a good movie, but they have these CGI, all the zombies are CGI. And it's like, why? They're just humans. They're just human beings that are a bit messed up. Like, you don't need to CGI them. This was during the mid-2000s where it was like, we can do CGI, so let's just do it. No. It feels like Who Framed Roger Rabbit whenever he's on screen with them. It's just like, you killed your story there, guys. But that's another rant for another time. I Am Legend 2? Yeah, why not? I think I might watch that. One thing I will definitely watch is Apple TV's Tetris movie with Taron Egerton. Because also, that dude's great. Speaking of always delivering, I haven't seen that guy in a bad performance. But this, I had no idea what the Tetris movie would be about. Thank God they're not going the Battleships route, where it's like, let's actually make a sci-fi action movie based on this game. No, this is the story of how Tetris, the Game Boy game, was made. And it is a fascinating tale that I didn't know the ins and outs of. But basically, the general understanding is that this was designed by a Russian developer, and America was like, oh my goodness, this game is incredible, we need to get it and get the license and make it. And it had to be a case of them going over to Russia and negotiating with a fairly hostile country, to try and get these rights. And it was a big sort of feels like a spy espionage kind of drama that was a real thing. But then the movie is done in a very kind of pop funky kind of awesome, engaging kind of way. I'm just taken. I'm smitten by this trailer. I think they put it together so well. I'm really hyped for this. Over in comic book news now, this is a fun mashup that I never knew we needed. Street Fighter versus TMNT. Boom! How have we not had this combination before? Maybe we have. Stop me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. We've had Transformers and Street Fighter. We've had Turtles with Power Rangers, but these two together, I mean, that's got to be a match made in heaven. I'm really excited to see this. The artwork looks really, really nice. And I mean, the story is kind of secondary to the concept. And that's what's got me on board. So yeah, when this comes out digitally, I think I might have to give it a go. Because yeah, as far as my 1990s loves and, passions growing up, Street Fighter and Turtles, they're right there together at the top. So smooshing them into a comic book, I'm gonna be there day one. Over in Marvel, you know me, I'm a big symbiote person, and now we have Cult of Carnage, Misery. And this is kind of interesting, because I love the whole sort of Osborn family tree kind of thing, and now we've got Liz Allen being pulled into the Osborn symbiote kind of nastiness, because now, ever since Norman Osborn bonded with the Carnage symbiote, we got the Red Goblin, he infected his grandchild Norman with some of it, and now the whole Osborn saga is tied in with Carnage as well. It's all kind of massed up, and it's kind of fun. And so Liz Allen, the mother of Normie Osborn, she's getting a symbiotic kind of upgrade and weird, monstrous body horror power effects and becoming Misery. I don't know the story, but I dig the look. I dig the whole kind of Cult of Carnage, weird, religious, freaky kind of stuff. This will hopefully be a fun story. Over in pro wrestling news, we recently had WWE Elimination Chamber, and this was a very special event because it was kind of the culmination to the Bloodline story, or at least this chapter of the Bloodline story, which has been honestly some of the best told pro wrestling for years now. And this had Sami Zayn finally standing up for himself and taking on Roman Reigns in his home city of Montreal. I was about to say country, it's not a country. In his home city of Montreal, and the atmosphere was electric. That's one of those once in a lifetime moments where the story and the venue and the character all come together for a perfect moment. But Sami couldn't win the big one on the night. And a lot of people were saying like, oh, you squandered this opportunity. You're never gonna have this chance to have this kind of thing again. And honestly, I get it actually, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Roman's title reign story doesn't need to end here. You have that amazing moment of him going for the title, and I get that. But that's not where the Roman story should conclude. That would be more like if Thanos was defeated in the Ant Man movie. And it's like, wait, well, were we going to get like an Endgame thing? It's like, yeah, but Ant-Man was so over at this point. Like, we'll have Ant-Man beat him. And it's like, no, people love Ant-Man, but that's not the grander story we're telling. So I was fine with that. On the whole, I got to say, WWE Elimination Chamber, that was a double thumbs up show. And I rag on WWE any chance I get because it's fun. But this time, I gotta say, they really have me invested. I'm looking forward to the rest of the road to WrestleMania. And a fun little pro wrestling story, Macho Man Randy Savage. He made a rap album in 2003, which was pretty much dedicated to dissing and calling out Hulk Hogan. It was called Be a Man, where he sang, the title track was Be a Man, Hogan, where he was just calling out Hulk Hogan he wanted to do a professional, like a boxing match or just a legit fight, and he was like, for charity. He said like, I'll put up 100,000 of my money and you can do the same and it'll go to charity if you're a real man, Hogan. And of course, Hogan didn't respond to it, but we got this wonderful anomaly of a Macho Man rap album. And if I didn't say it before, if I haven't got to the point, it's being released on vinyl for the first time. And apparently, last year was the first year since like 1985 or something where vinyl outsold CDs. Because of course CDs are a dead format now pretty much. And vinyl has been coming back because people like vinyl and record players and the sort of the artistry of it. So if you want to appreciate Be a Man in the most real artistic, zhuzhed up kind of way, you can get it on vinyl. And also just remind yourself that Macho Man did not have any love for Hulk Hogan whatsoever, despite what Hulk Hogan would tell you. That's something that always is so irritating, is that after Randy Savage died, Hogan was like,
oh yeah, of course, before he died, he reached out and we made up and we became best friends again, and we were real tight, brother. Yeah, we loved each other.
I hear those stories where Macho Man is not here to refute them, and I just think, you're lying! It's just lies upon lies. But nonetheless, we can just sit back, put on that vinyl Randy Savage album, and relive the good times. Bit of video game trailer news. I'm always late to the party with trailers, but I see things that I'm like, this looks so good. There's an Xbox trailer for a game called Redfall, which is a first-person shooter set in a town that's been overrun by vampires. And it basically looks like Far Cry meets Silent Hill, and with a little bit of Doom thrown in there as well. And I'm like, I want to buy a PS5, but I don't know, maybe I should go over to the Xbox side of things because that looks really, really fun. I love the kind of American Gothic kind of atmosphere. Reminds me so much of that, what was the Netflix show with the vampires in the church and Midnight Mass? That's what it reminds me of. It looks like really fun, creative art style, and I love a good first-person shooter. So this is one I'm going to watch very closely, and I don't know, maybe it could sway me over to the Xbox side of things. But not to be outdone, PlayStation have come out with a couple of trailers for a game called The Lies of P. And this is actually, bear with me, a Pinocchio reimagining. Set in a world that looks like it's kind of combining BioShock with like Alice, the Madness Returns kind of vibe, sort of old Victorian but weird scientific modern steampunk. It looks real good. Third person action game. I do love my third person action games, and you play as I guess Pinocchio, who's kind of like more cyborg than wooden doll puppet, but mechanical arm with all sort of extensions and weapons and all kinds of stuff. It looks gnarly. It looks kind of dark and very like I said, BioShocky. But I'm just like, ooh, this could be a good one. And finally for games, AEW Fight Forever has a new trailer in which they actually splice in, this is kind of cool, they splice in real life footage of Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Adam Page with in-game footage, and it looks like so much fun. I just want to get my hands on it. Unfortunately, they should have changed the name of this game to AEW Wait Forever, because it is taking forever. Apparently the big problem now is that the game is finished, but apparently there's too much blood in it, so they have to reduce the blood in order to get the rating they want so kids can buy the game. I'm just saying, like, come on parents, just go out and buy the game for your kids, alright? It ain't gonna do them no harm. Hopefully, it doesn't matter, I just want to play it. That's the priority right now. Over in merchandise, this is a fun little one. Paramount, the movie studio, to promote the new Scream movie, Scream 6, Scream in New York, Scream Harder. They're doing some pop-up restaurants in the style of McDonald's doing Happy Meals, or Stabby Meals, if you will, where you can get a whole bunch of Scream themed food and merchandise, little Scream collector Happy Meal type toys. It's a fun, bizarre, ridiculous kind of promotion. It's available in West Hollywood from the 24th of February. And so if you're in that area, I don't know, are there any viewers in West Hollywood? If you are, go check it out. Get yourself a Stabby Meal. Tell me what the toys and action figures are like. I'm sure it's stupid kitsch, kind of nonsense, but I love that. That's what this channel is all about, stupid kitsch nonsense. So yeah, go get yourself a Scream 6 Stabby Meal. Over in Cosplay Corner, big shout out to Lo-Fi Bay, because does some damn good cosplay. It's funny, when I do these cosplay shoutouts, I always try and think like, what's the unique thing that I can talk about that justifies me highlighting this person above and beyond just wanting to show some pretty pictures of people in cosplay. And occasionally I'll look at the Instagram gallery and go, nah, I got nothing. It's just a pretty person in cosplay. So yeah, there you go. Go give her a follow, because whether it's artistically an achievement of some sort, or it's just someone looking awesome in cosplay, whatever your brand of appreciation might be, go give her a follow. And finally, this is a fun and finally. IGN recently posted some pictures of the 1999 Super Smash Bros. Slam Fest. Okay, so this was an event that was put on to publicize the original first ever Super Smash Bros. Game on the N64. And it's become what we call lost media now. So this thing was actually live streamed in 1999. So that's some old technology going on there. But now there's no footage of it, but some high quality or higher quality photos have surfaced, and now they're doing the rounds on the internet. And it's just such a fun, weird, quirky anomaly. They went the full hog. That's not an expression, but still, they went the full hog with doing a proper pro wrestling show with ring announcers and the whole shebang, with people in the full official Nintendo mascot costumes having these fights and wrestling matches that were then judged and scored and awarded, and it looked like such a bizarre, bonkers, fun, awesome time that we don't have any footage of anymore, but we've got those photos, so we know it happened, and it must have been a whole lot of fun to see in person way back in the long ago of 1999. And folks, that does it for Good News for today. Whew! It took a while, but we're all up to date now. So let's see if we can stay on track. Gang, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you got to do. You got to join the 6-1 clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Thank you so much for watching, gang. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Cup of coffee. Big time coffee.